Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity for giving the Ministry of Commerce, Enterprise and Small Business Development this time that we can speak to what we do in the ministry. I want to thank God that we are alive today and we are here. Thank God He took us from Maria. We went through a trying time, but in every difficult circumstances, we must see an opportunity. And for us in the Ministry of Commerce, we are grateful that the Lord has given us that opportunity so that we can target a sector that is critical to employment, critical to income generation, critical to poverty reduction. And we are happy that as technical persons, we can work with our minister to make the economic sector, subsector, micro, small, and medium enterprises sector that can drive forward the development of Dominica. I want to also express sympathies to many of our small businesses who suffer loss. Mr. Stevenson will speak to some of the assessment in detail and some of the sectors that were impacted, because the sector is a very broad one. Many times people hear micro and small, and they don't have a knowledge of the all-encompassing areas or economic activities that are involved. And so I will allow Mr. Stevenson to speak to that. I will just want to reiterate that in terms of the ministry, our vision is to be the driver, fueling business economic transformation. And within that vision, our mission is to be a facilitator and enabler to create an environment that supports, strengthens, and promotes enterprise and business development. And if we look at Dominica, indeed there are opportunities that have been created that we have to facilitate, that we have to support. And indeed the government of Dominica is ready and well poised to provide that through the Ministry of Commerce, Enterprise and Small Business Development. I just also want to say that before Maria, we were very active. We are indeed an active ministry. In fact, we were busy providing technical assistance, that is guidance to people who want to prepare their business plan, people who just want advisors to, they have a business idea and they're not sure what to do, and they came into the ministry and they were provided with that kind of support. We also provide technical capacity building in that we provide training, and our training is geared at giving people an appreciation of what a business can do for them. And so we teach them how to grow their business successfully through training in accounting and just understanding their vision and their goal as they get involved in business. And so last financial year, which we are not quite finished yet, last financial year and this financial year, we were very much involved in the decentralization of resources to local authorities so that they could make available at short notice financing assistance to persons at the rural level to enable them to grow their business. And so the government made available some $7.3 million last year, and some of it earlier this year, to be distributed far and wide within 16 local authorities. And interestingly, those local authorities, the persons who received those funds, they were distributed in subsectors of agriculture, art and craft, construction, education, entertainment, food and beverage, hospitality, tourism, information technology, manufacturing, pharmaceutical, retail, service. And when we say service, we talk about vendors. And there were persons who came in to ensure that their business were on the right footing, and we provided that support to them. So we are very much involved in at the grassroots level, and we are getting involved in ensuring that at the rural level that people are able to make an impact at their various communities with the support provided by the government through their local authority. And parallel to this also, at the ministry, we had small businesses who came in to receive financial assistance so that they would then be able to make an impact in the business. And so we are very pleased as the Ministry of Commerce, Enterprise and Small Business Development that we are available to make that support assistance which the government makes available to the ministry that we can distribute, that we can decentralize. We also have a specialized program that we do, rural enterprise development centers, and we seek to have persons incubate within a specific location with specific talent that we develop to the point where we graduate them into a small business. And some of these people, as a result of Maria, we have to take some of them to the next level, which is getting them into small businesses. So we will make available some startup grants that they will be able to start their own business. So for instance, in Dublin, we had a very thriving group called Dreams and Stitches, and they were involved in soft furnishings. So they made things like pillowcases, sheets, soft cushions, and the little pouches, and so on the West Coast they were available. But the Maria gave the building where they occupied some damage, and so we have to come in to support them to get them back on track so that they can continue to be located on the West Coast to be able to provide that service to persons within as far from Dublin to Portsmouth. We also had a group in the Kalinago territory at the Cineco Enterprise Center, and they were involved in art and craft. We had a small tour guide group there. We had a sewing group, and of course we had a reception area. Mindful that Cineco is at the first point of entry of the Kalinago territory, we created that enterprise center there so that it would be an initial point for information to the Kalinago territory. But as I said, Cara Maria is giving us a positive and a negative. So the shelter has been, the center is now provided as a shelter, but we are going then to take these people who we have built capacity, we have trained, we have provided support to. They are coming out of this situation, and we will graduate them into a small business within their own community. We also were building a very good facility at Geneva, the Geneva facility of the Aid Bank. We were doing one there where we were going to have a bakery, we were going to have a garment manufacturing area there, but the building suffered damage, and we are now regrouping ourselves and reorganizing so that we can get back on track within the southern district of Granby. And also we have an ICT support system in Paybush where we were providing ICT support to the communities and its neighboring communities. And in light of no electricity, we have to come with creative things that we can do so that we can have this ICT enterprise functioning. So our work is cut out for us, and we are available, and we are here to say that at the Ministry of Commerce we have hope. We are there to ensure that we put our commerce, enterprise, and small business development to continue, to put them back on track, and we are available to be there to give them support. Mr. Stevenson will provide some further detail on some of the assessments that we've been doing, because we want to call upon persons in the micro and small business sector to come to the Ministry of Commerce, because we are on the ground, but sometimes we may miss you, because sometimes when we go to some places they are not there. And so if you have not seen us, we may have passed, we may have missed you, and so we are calling upon you to come in to do the survey that we're doing, because it will be critical for us when we do the evaluation for providing funding. We will be able to have an appreciation of who we are going to target immediately, who we are going to target in the short term, and who we are going to target in the medium term. And as the Honorable Minister said, our goal is to build back better. And she defined that building back better. Just to reiterate, we want to ensure that the standards are adhered to. And so we talk about, for instance, people who are involved in the food and beverage. We want to ensure that you have the environmental unit, ensure that your food and beverage area is recertified for business. You also have your tools and equipment meet the standards, because you can't just utilize any tool and equipment to do cooking. it is recommended that all your tools be stainless steel to avoid transfer of germs that ought not to be transferred. So all those things that we will be paying attention, and we will be available to provide that guidance to you. The minister will come back to speak to some of the policy development that we are involved in. I would prefer her to talk on the policy development issues, so she will come back to speak to that. And so before she does, I would prefer if Mr. Stevenson speaks to the post-assessment that we're doing, Maria, and then we will call her back to speak to some other policy issues that we are also involved in to bring the ministry back on track and to continue the work that we're doing in Dominica. We are thankful to the government of Dominica, who recognizes that the micro, small, and medium enterprise is a very important sector to the development of Dominica. And as I said, it's important for growth, it's important for poverty reduction, it's important for income generation, it's important for employment creation. And because of this, we are heartily always on the being thought of when allocations are being made. And so funds are not a thing that we have any doubt that we will not get, because the government recognizes it as a very important sector. And we also work very closely with the private sector, and the manufacturing sector is a very important sector for us too. We were instrumental in the development of the facility that the government made available at the Aid Bank. And right now what we are doing, we are revisiting the terms and conditions so that they can accelerate it at a faster pace than they did before Maria. And so this is where we are at. They have submitted a document which we received on Friday, and we are hoping that we can accelerate it quickly to the government. The Prime Minister gave his assurance once he receives it, he will give it favorable consideration. And so we need to move ahead for the manufacturing sector. And we are grateful for the support for that sector. And we are willing and ready, and our doors are open on the 3rd floor, government headquarters, to provide the guidance and support and direction that you who are involved in the development of this sector require. And so we thank you for this press briefing here this morning, and thank you for that opportunity. And we look forward to continuing the work that we have to do for the people of Dominica. Thank you.